I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, people? How you doing? Okay, I got an author. You guys know I love authors, man. And I say this all the time. Are you guys getting tired of me saying that I love authors? And I really do. Because without authors, we would be all dumb. Dumb. Idiots that we know we are, to know something, but just a little bit of something, but to know nothing, to know a little bit of something, kind of like that. But no, we'd be like, know nothing and nothing. So with this author here today, who has a wonderful children's book, she's going to be teaching the children. And I think that we need more of these people. So if you want to write your own book, get to it, buddy. All right. So we have Dr. And I'm going to make sure I said this. Dr. Bryant is on the show today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Man, I'm telling you, doctor, am I wrong or am I right?
You are right. We need more.
Yeah, we definitely need more. So what, let's go back in time and let's say, what led you to this point where you wrote this particular book here?
Well, what led me to write this story is really a dream. I was asleep at night, one night, and I really feel like God spoke to me and said, I want you to merge some things that you like together to create something new. And so what he gave me was my love for languages, as well as my love for children. So what he gave me was actually 4 books simultaneously. The first book, of course, is the Ruby and Adora book, which I have right here.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a bilingual Spanish and English book. And it's kind of loosely around my life because I'm a military brat. And so in this particular story, I am being able to share some of the things that children go through when they come to a new duty station. They're kind of like a little nervous and like, oh my gosh, am I going to make any friends? And just experiencing that not only does Ruby make friends, but she also gets to experience a new language. And to culminate it all together, because I'm a teacher at heart first, I was able to put an activity book or activity pages with this book. So in the activity pages, you have Spanish and English, and the children are matching the words of foods, colors, numbers, shapes, and also doing the same thing with the searching of words in word puzzles. But then they turn around and have to do a comprehension where they're being able to tell me what happened in the story, so I can make sure that they are getting a good understanding, because it's all about learning, because that's what we're about. Mm-hmm. So in the story, that after they tell me what they've learned, they turn back around and then I give them an opportunity. Hey, would you like to write your own story? So they have an opportunity to tell me about characters and settings and the plot and the problem and the resolution that comes up when they get through the story. So I think a lot of this is just going to help our babies to become more proficient in reading, and also learn about how to make friends in a new environment, but mostly about showing respect to one another, because you're dealing with people with different backgrounds. And the language, of course, is what knits it all together, because Ruby learns Spanish from Adora, and they become the best of friends on the very first day at school.
That is so cool.
Thank you.
I think a lot of people can relate to this. You know, you have the children, it's very hard to fit in just staying stationary.
Yes, yes, yes.
So being an Army brat, and even a child that's been, uprooted so many times, and moved here and moved there and moved there. That is just a wonderful book. Okay, so your process in writing, tell me about that.
At first I was like, oh my gosh, the only thing that I really have written that turned into a book was my dissertation for the doctoral program.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, God, I know you gave me this, so let me think about how this should come out. And I really believe that it takes a lot of time to just think about from beginning to end how to make a story flow, as well as be captivating. And there's a lot that goes into it. Like you want your illustrator to have a cover and pictures within the story that captivate the reader just by looking at the cover. Like, oh,
Right.
this looks interesting. When I look at this, well, what's this about? Or you want the storyline to flow in such a way that the children are able to understand what they're reading and they can just kind of summarize it for you. But even more importantly, you want the Spanish or the other language that you're using to be right up under. If you're saying Ruby loves the color red, you want in Spanish, Ruby loves the color red, so that they can see the correlation between the the two sentences and be able to utilize that for future learning. So like they'll know the color rojo is red or rosa is pink. So those are the kinds of things you want them to start identifying as they're going through the story. So all of that has to be laid out. And then you also want to the parents, because those are the people that actually buy the book, to feel that this is going to be beneficial to the education of their child.
Yeah. So, okay. So in retrospect, the children can learn Spanish by reading this book.
Yes. Not only can they learn Spanish, they are going to be able to speak some Spanish, because if you ask them, can you tell me these color words? They're going to be able to do that because they're going to be matching it in English and Spanish. They're also going to be able to, I put an answer key in the back for all of my activity pages. So again, captivating them from the beginning, like for instance, having color words and then being able to match it. The answer keys will show it to them. And then number words, clothing, food, all of this is part of the book. So they can see all of this. And then they're able to also match when they're finding the words on the keys, and it's already there for them in English and Spanish. And I think that they're really going to enjoy the book. And the parents, let's say you have some Spanish speaking parents, but their children know more English than them. Having the book in Spanish and the children being able to read it back to them in English also helps their parents.
Yeah.
So it works both ways. It's not just for the children, but it also can be used as a tool for some Spanish speaking families that are just learning English as well.
That is so cool. I like that. Why did you come up with this idea? I mean, I understand that you were Army brat. I know you moved around, but why the book in such a manner?
Well, I do my own research as well. So when the idea came to me from God, I thought, okay, let me go and research how some other people have done children's books. And then because I know that I'm a teacher at heart, I know that they have to have a product for me, a finished product. So it's not enough just to read the story. I want you to comprehend what took place in the story. But because I was adding Spanish and English together, it was important for me to put it in a way that would be fun for the children. So that's where the activity pages came up from.
Right. Is it harder to put the activity pages in correlation with the book itself? But some people just don't do that. Some people just write the book.
For me, I honestly believe because it was given to me straight from God, I think that he just put it all together for me. Once I just put in my mind what I wanted to do, it just kind of flowed. And it literally goes along with the book. They can walk back through the book and see that there is Spanish and English on the actual pictures with the children. They can also see that the food items are there, the clothing is there. all of it is together, the Spanish and English on the pages, so they cannot get it confused in any way.
Awesome. Has this helped you in any way?
It really has. I've always wanted to leave a fingerprint for my own children. I have 3 daughters, and my husband is a retired military male. So he and I kind of sort of have raised our children, but we wanted to leave a legacy for our grandchildren. And we have 2 grandchildren, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And I wanted to be able to say that their Mima was someone that really loved children and wanted to leave something for them to look at as well and be able to read and say, this is something that stays in the world forever or
Yeah,
stays online forever.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Being that you wrote an activity book within a book, are you looking to do just an activity book at any point?
To be honest, I actually wanted the activity pages to be like my thumbprint on every one of the books. So the second book that I'm doing is French and English. And so the activity pages are already in line with that as well. And I just think it gives a uniqueness to the book.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm not open to doing just an activity book, but I think when it's all together, it makes more sense to the mind of a child. Because sometimes when they see a book over here and then an activity book over here, they don't connect the two.
Mm.
And so it's nice that they can have that opportunity to connect it all and like make sense of it all and kind of continue to learn from it from that way.
That's cool. I never thought of it that way. But also, I'm thinking of it in another way. The
Yes.
parents too can learn Spanish and they can too now learn French once that book is out. I mean,
Mhm.
reading your child a book, being there with them while they're reading it, going through the activities yourself and helping them out. That's a great way to connect with your child and
Mhm.
connect with a different language and maybe even a different culture.
Right, right. And that's exactly what this is all about. You want your child to be globally prepared for the future. And one of the things that I love about children that come into my school, they're able to speak on the phone. If they're talking to their parent, they can speak in Spanish to their parents and then turn around and look at me and say it in English. My mom said da 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 da, and then I'm saying to myself, how wonderful it is to be bilingual or multilingual, and that how um, competitive you'll make yourself in the future for being that way, because we live in a global society,
Yes.
and this is very important.
Very important. Very, very important. I concur. I concur. Wow. Wow. So what kind of advice do you give? I mean, this is something totally new. I mean, you talk about a curveball here. You got an activity book, a language book, English and another language, right? All wrapped into and I guess a learning.
Yes. That's why I say I know it's straight from God, because it's multifaceted. It has so many layers to it. It's almost like peeling an onion,
Yeah.
because it also has a social emotional side to it as well. This
Mm.
particular story, because you are dealing with a child's emotions and how they're feeling, and then being able to come and meet someone and that person be shy, but y'all connect, and then that story blossoms to the point where now that person that was shy is now willing to teach you a language you've never heard before, and then y'all become fast friends and collect a few more friends along the way at school, which hence are the other books, because I introduced the other characters in my first book for the other books.
Wow.
So yes, it is a beautiful thing. God
Definitely.
gave me a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Is there anything that we missed today that you would like to tell the listeners?
Oh, well, I would love to tell them where they can purchase the book. You can purchase it at Barnes and Noble, at Amazon.com, and Reader House. You can also go on to Google Play. Um, and also Page Publishing. So I would love for you to include this book either in your personal home library or your school library or your classroom or even your local library. I think this is a book that it should go global and will be a wonderful tool for your child for the future.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. We're talking about Ruby and Adora, a bilingual story, English and Spanish. So
Yes.
how important, and I'm going to answer this question, is totally something I'm going to answer, is totally rhetorical, okay? But how important is it to learn a different language? Déjame decir que es muy importante para el español, es una lengua que usted tiene que hablar bien, porque yo vivía en Miami por 20 más años por ahí. Entonces, yo tenía que hablar español porque yo tenía que aprender español, yo tenía que hablar español, mi trabajo, yo tenía que hablar español, leer español y escribir español. Entonces, ese libro, Ruby y Adora, es muy importante para recoger para su niño, sus suegros, tú sabes, su suegra, o para leer a los niños y todo eso. It's very, very important to learn a second language. I'm a Black girl. Most people think I'm Hispanic. I'm not Hispanic. But I learned Spanish in Miami, in Hollandale, when I went to school from my friends' parents and things, because it's a very important language to learn down here in the South, in Miami and in Florida. It's like top, it's like Haitian, his Spanish, English. Okay, there's some, there's other languages, but if you know those, you can get a great job. And that's what my job required me to learn Spanish, and I did. So,
muy excelente.
Yes, it was very important to learn a different language, and this book brings it out, you guys. You got to get this for your kids. You got to get this book, Ruby and Adora, a bilingual story. It's just essential that the children start to learn, especially when they're young. They're so pliable when they're young. You could just teach them. They'll absorb it like a sponge, and you'll learn too.
Yes, excellent. That was very good. Very good.
Thank you. But it's
Thank you.
Thank you. Very, very important. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the description box below so that people can actually grab that for themselves, and it'll be easy for them to get. And I want to thank you, Doctor, for being on the show. It's been such a pleasure having you.
Thank you. I appreciate you very much. This has been wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
And great job. Great job.
Yo, don't get me started.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. And thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different. And until next time, guys, bye.
I dare to be different. I dare to be different. I dare to be